so let's get the parcel opened. Comes packaged quite well by the looks of it. Let's get it opened. Don't want to damage what's inside, be a bit careful. Exciting. Well, I've opened the wrong parcel. This is my power, 12 volt variable power supply. So the battery pack is in a different parcel. So excuse me while I get the correct package. Right, let's start again. Hopefully we've got the correct package this time. Let's see how we get on. Get this one open. I will be showing the building of that power supply, 12 volt to variable powers, which is very useful for my projects. Right, okay, now we've got the correct package. Let's have a look, see what we've got in here. This is very, very exciting. I think we're going to have to cut this one as well. So this is the battery for my drill. This is the case. These are some bits and pieces for building the battery up. I'll keep this bag in case I need it for some bits and pieces. Right, okay, so what have we got here? So this is the actual case, very nice, very compact, 5 batteries, lithium ion, very nice, very good quality, Aliexpress, and I highly recommend buying stuff from Aliexpress. Always good. Stuff arrives on time usually. Let's see what we got in this package. But these are protectors that will go along the side. It helps to stop shortages, which obviously is not desirable. These are the little bits and pieces that we will need. This is the monitor. This will show you how much power is in the battery at any given time. This is the BMS. BMS is crucial with lithium-ion batteries, as they can be quite dangerous. So these leads are what go to the battery, and the BMS main job is to monitor the state of charge or discharge, which is crucial with lithium batteries. Never try to install batteries without using a BMS. This is very, very important. It's quite small, so yellow one looks like B2, that blue one looks like B4, this yellow one is B3, and this blue one is B1. So that's the cable layout. This is part of the bat, so you press this, which is all part of this small board here, which will show you the state of charge of the battery. These here are for welding the batteries together. These are screws to hold the thing together. This is 2 screws which hold this down once the battery has been built. This doesn't say what gauge these nickel plates are. They seem quite light, really. The one I normally use is 0.15 or even 0.2. I've got a new welding machine as well, which we will be demonstrating shortly. Once we get the batteries installed into the case. So let's move this out of the way a little bit. So now we've got it all laid out. Excuse me. So the next thing is to take this apart, because it's not screwed together at the moment. So this is the top half of the case. So there's not much to do with this really. This will just go on once we've built the battery. So we'll put this to one side for the moment. So here's the battery cage. And this is what the battery will sit in. So we take the batteries that I've got here. So we'll need 5 batteries. These need to have this protected ring. It just helps to stop any shorts from the casing to the middle part of the positive side of the battery. So that's the batteries, and we just put a pause there for a moment. So I've installed the batteries and mounted the BMS. It goes positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, and this is the negative connection on this side, positive, negative on this side. So what we need to do now is to weld these little connectors for the BMS monitor, and also to link the actual batteries together. It's what's called a 5S 1p, because there's one Powerall and there's 5 batteries in series. I hope you can see that okay. Right, so the first thing to do is to start connecting these little terminals. It's quite fiddly. And what I've done, turn the power down a little bit. So these are the connectors. Let me put some glasses on just to protect my eyes. Very important because you get little sparks off this thing. So let's bring this in. So if we hold that firm, seems to be pretty solid. This will then fold down here. This will eventually connect onto there, the positive side, but we've got the rest of these to connect up now. So I hope you can see that okay. Seems to be fairly solid. Again, I think that seems to be quite solid. Just bend the terminal down. And we've got the last one here. I've got to mention there's some little rings. I'll just show you these rings that you put on the positive end of the battery. This helps to protect the outer shell to the inner positive side, but otherwise it would short. So let's see if we can get this one nicely. bend that down a little bit. Oh, that seems to be one side done okay. We'll turn it over and do the other side. So as you'll notice, obviously you've got positive, negative. Now it could be negative, positive. It's the opposite side of the battery. So now we need to connect these. So this is the first quite a nice connection there. I've got my welding machine on gear 5. Seems to be working fine. No problem there. So let's continue. Now we're putting on so it's B1, we're now on B2 connection and B4. So let's see if we can get this welded nicely in position. Next one, quite nicely done, nice and firm, and looking good. And there's our last connection. Right, that was our final connection. Going okay at the moment. We're finished with our welding machine now, so we can put that to one side. Right, so let's turn this around. Now we get our soldering machine going now. What we'll do, we'll put a little blob of solder on each of these terminals. It looks like the ends have already been tinned on the BMS. Just to confirm, we'll have another little look here. Yeah, positive, and then B3, B1, B3, B1, yeah, B3, then B1. They're sort of positioned in the right sort of order, making it fairly easy to identify where they've got to go to. Let's get the soldering iron warmed up. Right, I'm using a 0.8 solder, rosin core solder, something I got off of Aliexpress. Works quite well. We'll soon find out. As I say, I'll just tin these terminals first, and then we'll go ahead and connect them. Seem to be going okay at the moment. Right, so just put a little bit of water on my sponge for cleaning the tip of the iron. Just put the fan on. Just to clear the... Oh, something I forgot. We put a little bit of... Put a little bit of flux on the actual just helps the solder flow a little bit easier. This is a Amtech. Oh, that's something I've got on the stove, so we're going to have to pause the video. Right, here we are again. I had a little job to do inside, so sorry for that. Anyway, let's continue. So I've put a little bit of this Amtech Flux. It's pretty good stuff. Another Chinese product, of course, but it just helps the solder flow. So let's see if we can you notice I've got a fan going. It's just blowing away the fumes because they're not very nice to inhale. Right, so that's got that bit tinned. So now let's see how we get on with a bit more flux on that. Getting a bit warm. I may come back to that again. Oh, glad I spotted that. I want to collect the wrong one. A bit messy. Seems to be fairly well stuck on, I think. Right, so let's have a little look to see what voltage we got here. Oh, 21 volts, perfect. Not particularly happy with that. I need to do now. I think that's got it. I think that's okay. Right, I think we're sort of getting there slowly. Now, that's where these strips come in, just to make it a little bit more insulated. There you are. Right, so I think we're done with the soldering iron for a bit, so we can switch him off. We'll just tin the end before we put it away. Just keeps the tip nicely oxidised. go. That was me 8mm solder. Right, now obviously this has got to go like that. And does that fit on there like that? Maybe not. What about that? Oh, that does. So it's got to go in that way. Now we've got one more job to do. That is the just going to pause the video for a minute. Right, let's continue. Sorry about the break. I just had to look at the drawing for this connectors to go to the negative and positive side of the terminal, and this here is just to check the level of charge in the battery. So that's that. Now we've got this, needs to go in front like so. So when you press the got that quite in the right place. Bit fiddly. Pause the video. So this is the finished result of the battery. There's a test, fully charged. One thing left to do is to try it on the actual impact driver. Nicely connected. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video and it was of some assistance. It's my first attempt, so don't be too hard on me in the comments, and thank you for watching. Subscribe for more videos. I've got another project coming up, should be very interesting. Thank you very much. Bye for now.